I hate violence. Like, people always joke with me all the time, and like, even my coworkers and stuff, because like the place you work, you like to talk shit with your friends and stuff. It's all fun, right? And then like some coworkers would be like talking about like oh Chase, you think I could beat you up? I'm like, dude, a 4-year-old could beat me up. Like I'm a lover, not a fighter. And I actually got that exact statement from my dad. But like, I am a lover, not a fighter. Like, you'll never see me getting in a fight. I've never been in a fight. I have no desire to ever be in a fight, because what does that prove? What does it prove? Nothing. A fight proves. If we have a disagreement, and you're like, yo, let's fight. I'm like, what does that prove? Okay, sure, you're stronger than me, but you're still an asshole. You know, like, you're still a dickhead. Like, what does that prove? Nothing. You're stronger than me. Ooh, you got me.
This is the Garage Boozing Podcast.
What's up, nerds? And welcome back to another episode of the Garage Boozing Podcast. I'm your host, the man with absolutely no plan, the Chase with the face for radio, Chase Sherga. And boy, do I have one hell of an episode for you guys today. We've got part 2 of my fantastic conversation with Brandon Eastman and Mr. Conspiracy himself, Ben Wilcox. And yeah, I know, I say it all the time. Conversation goes all over the place, blah, blah, blah. What else do you want me to say? Literally, it bounces off the walls. It literally goes all over the place. Literally. I say literally way too much. Literally and I always catch myself saying and literally. I got to work on that. But yeah, anyway, I know you guys are going to absolutely love it. So without further ado, folks, you know what time it is. It's time to sit back, relax, kick your feet up, crack open a cold one, and if you're really feeling fruity, take a shot. Why not? Because this week's episode of the Garage Boozing Podcast starts now.
Oh yeah, in support for the Garage Boozing Podcast, it is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped will help you trim up the family jewels to make everything nice and right for the ladies. Make sure that you're using promo code TGBP20 for 20% off your Manscaped products. Oh yeah!
But all right, anyway, next topic here. So, again, Brandon, so you were telling us briefly before the podcast, one, your social media, so he has a podcast too, or you call it a broadcast, right?
Yeah, it's a podcast.
Be Better Broadcast. I like that. BBB. Better Business Bureau. Right?
Yeah, well, you have a broadcast too. It's video and audio.
Dude, you know Spotify is going to allow you to do videos soon.
Even if you're not Joe Rogan?
Even if you're not Joe Rogan,
Wow.
yeah. All right, anyway. Fuck. Where am I going with this?
We were talking about...
Oh, yeah. We were talking about how your social media is very strong with like your podcast and stuff, and you told me that you actually have somebody working for you.
Yes.
Can you explain that to me a little bit?
100%. So I, for the longest time, was focused on doing everything for my show. Right? And this is relevant for any business owner listening right now, but I would do the social media.
Any social media influencer, anything. Anybody that's putting content out there.
Exactly. Anyone who's creating content. You're doing too much, right? And at the beginning, you're doing everything because you have to learn how to do everything.
And it's a lot of fucking work.
It's a lot, absolutely. And last year, I decided, well, you know, what would it be like if I actually had someone who was full-time focusing on my social media efforts, specifically the video editing portion? Because I'm the writer, I like to type the posts, just like you like to type your posts. And I hired someone from the Philippines. His name is Errol. I won't give you his last name because he is one of the most loyal and incredible individuals that I know, and I truly mean that. And he's from the Philippines, and over there, the opportunity to do what he's doing, it's a great opportunity, right? They can earn a certain amount of money per month, a very low amount for us Americans, but for them, it's a full-time wage, right? Because the conversion between American and Filipino. And he takes care of all of my video editing and much of what I do. I think the whole point of this is, right now, you as an example, you're spending a lot of time on things that are not your zone of genius.
Dude, editing my podcast takes like 4 hours. Keeping up with all the social media, it's hard. So like I'll post like little clips and stuff when each week when a video comes out, and that's basically it. Because like going through and picking and choosing different clips, it's so much fucking work.
I think your audience would agree that they would rather have 3 episodes from you with you not focusing on those extra things that you're doing.
Sure.
Because now you have all that extra time to record new podcast episodes. So you could literally hire somebody for $350 to $500 a month American dollars to take care of all your editing for you, to take care of all your social media. They'll do, I mean, you can hire someone who's skilled in any area, but for them, it's an honor because they don't have to drive to work. The conversion rate is higher. So over there, $500 a month is a great amount of money, when to us, obviously, it's not a livable wage, but for them, it is.
And social media is so big too. Like a lot of podcasts get big from social media and stuff. So like you have that one clip that goes viral, you're getting followers, stuff like that. So like that's huge. I'm so interested in this. So this what was his name again?
His name is Errol.
Errol. So Errol literally only works for you.
He only works for me.
That's his only job.
Yeah, he works for Be Better Industries.
Really?
Yes, and he edits videos, he uploads to YouTube. He's one of the most loyal people, but it allows me to focus on creating more videos that he can edit that we can then post together.
So do you tell him when you want stuff posted and stuff, or does he okay?
We
so
talk every day.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably use like WhatsApp or something, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
And I'm bringing someone else onto the team soon to work on my LinkedIn profile. So we're building a small team, but it's not costing, paying someone a $60,000 salary.
Yeah.
You can take advantage of overseas resources.
which in
from great
America,
people.
that job would be a $60,000 per year job.
100%.
Isn't that interesting? So how did you find Errol?
Yeah.
How did you find Errol?
I found an individual named John Jonas who operates the site One VA Away and onlinejobs.ph. That's where I found Errol. And he created a course called One VA Away. In 7 days, you can hire an online assistant who can handle all of your...
Why does it take 7 days?
Because you want to hire the right person. Like, I probably had 20 people apply for this position.
So there's like an interview.
There's thousands of people on this website who specialize in all different
interview
skills.
people?
Yeah, I interviewed them. I actually didn't hop on a Zoom call, though. It was all over text.
So what do you do? Like post the listing and then you just have people apply?
Exactly. People apply to your listing, you interview those people, and you decide who you want. And I even gave him a test job to see if he was adept at the skill of video editing. He was absolutely incredible, and he's only gotten better.
So that's kind of like, what's that website where you post jobs?
Angie's List?
No.
Craigslist?
What do you say?
Fiverr.
No, that's kind of like
That's a
Fiverr.
great one, too.
That's where all my t-shirt designs, I always get them on Fiverr.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can tell the guy what I want to be made, and it's like $5. He makes me a t-shirt design. It's great. But no, like here in the United States, like if you're looking for a job, what's the website? We've all probably used it.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
fuck.
Everyone listening knows.
What is it? Everybody knows what it is.
Unemployment.
That's where you make the real money.
Government.net.
It's the one where you can upload your resume and like fucking apply to jobs and stuff.
Yeah, there's a few of them I know what you're talking about.
It's the big one. This is driving me nuts. What is it? I'm literally gonna Google on my phone right now.
I haven't looked for a job in a long time.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
type in
me either.
search for jobs.
Monster? Isn't that one of them?
Indeed, you motherfuckers.
Indeed.
Jesus. Indeed, yeah. That's the one. But anyway, so yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. Like, you post something on Indeed and a bunch of people are applying.
It's the same thing.
So you had, like, a bunch of people apply, and then finally
Yeah.
you, like, saw his work, and you're like, you're
And then I
hired.
found him, and he was the person. He's allowed me to focus on what I love to do in my business. He's allowed me to grow my business 10 times.
Really?
10x, 100%. Without him, I couldn't do what I do. And he knows that. You have to appreciate your people.
And you know what's so funny? This whole time, I literally thought you were doing all the social media shit and everything. Good for you.
I
dude.
do a
That's-
lot of it, and that's why I'm hiring somebody else, a second person, but he does so many things behind the scenes. Like I haven't edited a video in over a year.
And I edit everything, and it's so tedious. I know what that word means. Tedious.
Can you spell it?
Ooh. TID. Is that right?
Incorrect.
TED?
Correct.
TEDIOUS?
You're right.
Nice. Ding, 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 ding.
Well done.
Haven't done a Words with Chase in a
Second
minute.
try.
I know, right? Anyway, so yeah, dude, that's badass.
So you could outsource so many things that you do for the podcast so that you could give so many more incredible episodes to the people who are tuning in every single week.
I love that. And I would love to post more clips throughout the week, too, instead of just
Yes.
that one.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah, we'll talk about this more in depth after.
But the website, again, is called onlinejobs.ph for Philippines. Great people. Follow the process. You'll get someone great for your business.
I got to find myself an arrow. And follow the process, what you just said. Following the process.
And again,
is
I'm
very
not
important.
sponsored. We're not sponsored by that. Like that's,
Yeah.
I
That's a-
simply just believe in the,
That's a free plug right there.
yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, next topic I got here. I'm going to look at Ben when I say this one because I think Ben's going to have a lot to say here, Ben. All I'm going to say is one word, and it is Ukraine.
So I knew that was coming. So I have some really unpopular opinions about it, but I'm more than happy to share them. I think that this whole thing is, another pointless war that we shouldn't be involved in. But it goes back further. Most people are glued to their television. It's very easy to get riled up and say I stand with Ukraine. and not actually do anything. And I think there's a lot of that going around. But going back, so in 2014, the Obama administration, our government assisted in the overthrow of Ukraine's democratically elected government at the time. And we put in our own puppet government. That's what's been going on since 2014. And you have to look at Ukraine as like Texas. Imagine if the United States lost Texas somehow, because Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union back in,
The USSR.
Yes.
Back in the USSR.
That's a whole other story. So we set up our government, and so now we're trying to get them to join NATO, and this is a big problem for Putin and Russia, obviously, because that's right at the bottom of their country. They have a relationship, they trade. And the Ukrainians are essentially Russians. I mean, and they
speak basically the same language.
They speak the same. They speak the same language.
Tavayu matnikai.
So I don't know what that means.
That was really good.
Yeah, it's a Ukrainian. I have a Ukrainian coworker. I forget exactly what that means, but he's taught me some bad words. I'm pretty sure that one means "go fuck your mother." I think.
Wow.
Suka means bitch, and you can say "bliad." That means you're a dirty towel, which is very offensive over there.
Dirty towel?
Yeah, don't you call me a dirty
Dirty
towel.
towels are gross, bro.
No, you're a towel.
They smell.
So anyway, the Ukrainian government is there right now. They're not good people, and the Ukrainians, Zelensky's popularity is lower than Joe Biden's. If we're not getting
The president of Ukraine?
yes,
I feel like he's wicked popular.
he's popular here because they've made him a hero. It's the power of Western media. So everyone that whole thing about him staying behind and fighting with his that was all just a photo op, and it was it was to make us support this war is really what it was, to get out, because this is we're coming out of 4 years of Trump with no new wars, and now we're going into a new war. And I think that most people, if there wasn't that support for Zelensky and making Putin the boogeyman as per usual, like we always do, that a lot of people in this country are not having it, but a lot of people are supporting it because the poor Ukrainians and the Russians are slaughtering them, and so this whole narrative.
It is a little fucked up. Like, I've seen videos online of like Russian tanks coming in and like running over like this old man who was just driving down the road.
So that's actually, that video is from something entirely different. And
Yeah.
that was
Is that proven?
It was an accident. Yeah, that was actually that.
How
tank,
can you call that an accident? The guy's.
Did you watch the whole video?
Yes.
So the tank lost control and hit that car, and then
drove away.
No, the tank stayed there, and then the guy gets out of the car. He lived, and then civilians start coming out and helping him. Like, if they really meant to kill that guy, they would have mowed him down with the 50 caliber.
I could have sworn I
It's
saw the
the
video where
media
he
twist
ran
it,
him
bro.
over and just like they drove away. They didn't. So
You
I'm
see the tank come
imagining
down the
that.
road, and all of a sudden it veers hard in the car, and it hits the car, and the car spins off, and it's all demolished, and the guy actually climbs out of the car, and all of a sudden these people come out and help him, and the tank's still sitting there. Yeah, and there's a bunch of stuff that it was from different conflicts. They're saying it's hard to tell. It's hard. It's really.
It is. The media is so fucked up. But because I also see videos like where like these Ukrainian people will capture like Russian soldiers and let them call their family, will feed them and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, that's so nice. Is this just the media putting this shit out there? Or like,
100%.
really?
You have to keep in mind too that the Ukrainian government, at the top of their military is white nationalists, like actual admitted Nazis. This is something that again is just not coming through Western media for obvious reasons, but it's something you can look up. C-14 and the Azov Battalion, or however it's pronounced, they're actual white nationalists. And I forget the guy's name who's at the top rank of that. There's a video of him bragging about how much influence they had when the United States aided in taking over their government back in 2014, that those guys were a big part of that, and he brags about it. Like, he's obviously very proud of it. And they're, it's not, and there's the conspiracy theory that, Putin is fighting the deep state and he's trying to denazify and I think that's bullshit too. I think Putin's just trying to put his puppet government back in there and just go back to things the way things were. I think that's really what we're seeing here. But the United States needs our support in order to wage another pointless war that you and I and you are all going to pay for. And that's really what this is all about. So the only way they can do that is to get us to support it. And they're very good at it. That's why all your friends and everybody and people feel good about changing their profile pictures to I stand with Ukraine. But the reality is this is all programmed,
Yes.
projected response. They know that we're going to react a certain way if we tell them that we've all been conditioned since birth to hate the Russians. We've always feared it was the Red Scare, going back to my parents' generation. That's always been there. And the Russians aren't any different than us.
In Soviet Russia, drink vodka. Vodka drink you.
So it's very...
If he dies, he dies.
It's
I
very,
love Rocky.
It's one of the greatest of all those movies. It's very easy to use them as a bad guy and to get people. And I'm not.
They
stumping
killed
for,
Apollo Creed.
I'm not stumping for Russia at all, and I want to make that clear. I'm not defending. I think this is just another pointless war between governments, and they're playing on our emotions so that we'll support it.
I was going to
Yes.
ask you, so like, you're not supporting Russia with what they're doing.
No, not at all. No, I don't. I'm not surprised. It's exactly what we would do if we were in that position. But think about it this way.
Are
Here's
they?
another-
So Russia's trying to take over Ukraine and make it one country again, right?
Yes, and the way that they're doing this is another thing that you have to kind of dig for this information, but it's out there. Is that they're surrounding cities and they're killing people. There's no two ways about it. But
They're definitely killing people.
But they're trying to. So if the United States were to wage war against any country, let's just say it's Ukraine. Let's say it's us. The very first thing we would do is knock out their power grid. We would knock out their water system. It would knock out all the cell towers, and then we would slow roll our shit right through and just level everything. And then we would just clean up the mess afterwards. But they haven't done any of that. Everything is still intact. All the public facilities, all these things are still there because the Russians' thought is if we can take Ukraine back without destroying it and sort of just let things go back to the way they were, that's the best thing for everyone. Because the fact is that generals in the Ukrainian army went to the same colleges that the generals in the Soviet army. They know each other. Like they literally know, not that like they actually know each other. So this is something that the Russians are just hoping that the Ukrainian people, because obviously Zelensky and his government is aligned with us, and they're going to do everything that they can because Zelensky's a millionaire, a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, he was a comedian and a movie star.
and a very wealthy man, and it's because,
Same with Donald Trump.
Well, but yes, but they're performing for us is what it is, and I think that if you were to go over there and ask the Ukrainian people, it might be a different story.
So do you think that what was I going to say? Do you think that like Russia's doing the right thing here?
No, I don't. I'm not advocating for them at all. I think they're doing exactly what you would expect them to do. Not necessarily that it's the right thing, but it's not a surprise. And they didn't dare do it when Trump was in office because Trump literally said, "I'll bomb the fucking Kremlin."
I was going to say. So that's another question I was going to say. So you think that if Trump was still in office, that wouldn't be happening?
Absolutely not.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that Putin sees Biden as a weak president, and I think that, and who knows, maybe they have an agreement under the table. Who knows?
Yeah,
Like
right.
nobody
Yes.
really knows what's really going on.
Dude,
But
politics, the government, it's all such a scary thing that none of
It
us
is.
will ever know the true answers.
it is. Our government is lost. That's the bottom line. Our government has and a lot of it. And the more I start to understand, as far as like I don't know if you guys are familiar with the World Economic Forum, and China obviously has a lot of influence on our
China.
has a lot of. So think about it this way: if you were China, or you were a group of people that was trying to basically take over the entire world, the United States is going to be the biggest thorn in your side. It's going to be the biggest nut to crack. And the only way to take this country is by the inside. You can't attack us. You can't have a war with us, or it's going to be nuclear war and the world ends.
Right.
So the next best thing is to slowly get your people in positions of power in our government.
Sure.
And that is the long and short of it. That's what's happened. So that's why when Trump took office, why he met so much adversity, because there were a lot of people that were compromised, paid off, blackmailed, whatever, doing their job to make sure that he didn't make any ground. And that's why they fought him the whole way.
Draft Top. The Draft Top was designed to give you a better all-around drinking experience, and let me tell you how. You take your Draft Top bar tool, put it on top of your adult beverage, give it a little squeeze, not too hard, a little bit of friction, a little to the left, a little to the right, a little to the left, a little to the right, and wha-bam. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me demonstrate this. If you're listening, I'm sorry, you just got to hear me talk. But yeah, then you pop your Draft Top off, take this, push it down just a tad, and now your beer just became a cup. So forget about wasting plastic, pouring your beer can into a cup, into a red Solo cup, if you will. It doesn't matter because now your Draft Top just made your beer into a cup. So now you can chug your beer a hell of a lot faster. You can smell the aroma of the alcohol. The experience of drinking here is just so much better thanks to Draft Top. So go get yours now. I want you to have one, you want you to have one, and you can get your own Draft Top at www.drafttop.com. And don't forget to use promo code GarageBoozing for 10% off site-wide. That's right. It doesn't matter what you get in your Draft Top cart, 10% off site-wide using promo code GarageBoozing. You know how to spell it. Don't be a fool. Buy your draft top right now. Treat yourself. You deserve it. All right, back to the show.
Yeah, but that whole thing with Russia and Ukraine, it's crazy. Regardless of
It's awful. And
whatever you believe with that, like I just hope things get
here's
better
another
soon.
thing too that I think a lot of people are missing is that the Russian people. So when we sanction Russia and we try to put the squeeze on Putin, it's not affecting him. He's rich, and all the other oligarchs, they're all rich, and it's frustrating for them. But the Russian people are the ones that are suffering. They're the ones that can't go to McDonald's anymore. They're the ones that they can't get any of our American products. They're the ones that are are suffering because we're putting sanctions as far as we're not buying gas from them anymore or oil. So, it's the Russian people and the Ukrainian people that are really suffering in this whole thing. And those are the people that we should be focusing on. And that's really where my heart goes. Like, I don't, as far as the Ukrainian government though, fuck those guys. Fuck Zelensky. It's all a setup. He's just a pawn for the deep state or whatever you want to call it.
I appreciate that input. That makes a lot of sense.
And I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that is my feeling. And I think that that's based on some pretty solid stuff.
Well, based on a lot of the things we've talked about tonight, I think that everybody in Russia and Ukraine should just take mushrooms because then they'd be like, "Why are we fighting? Let's
If
just be
they
friends."
did, then there'd be no war.
They'd overthrow the government and everyone would be living in peace and harmony.
Everyone would be feeling love, and they'd be connected, and they'd realize that all of us are one, and war solves nothing.
Dude, we got to send mushrooms over there right now.
100%.
Just drop them in parachutes and boxes.
Mushrooms coming from the
Are these
sky.
Mushrooms? Thanks.
Do I eat this? No, but yeah, I knew to ask you that question because I knew you know.
One last key thing about it too, though, is that if Ukraine were to decide to just remain neutral like they had been in the past, this would all be over. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
Really?
It's the United States wants them to be part of NATO because it puts the screws to Russia, and Russia does not want them to be part of NATO. And they were neutral up to this point. So if they were just to agree to go back to where they were, not necessarily to join, Russia, but just to stay neutral, this thing would be over. Again, I could be wrong, but that's how I'm seeing it.
How long do you foresee this war going on? Do you think we're going to get involved?
We already are involved to a certain degree, but who knows? They could drag it out. It's, one of those things that, think about this. When Trump was in office, when that whole thing with Syria happened, when they were saying that the Assad was using chemical weapons, Trump went in and carpet bombed the place for 2 days, and that was over. He showed a show of strength, a show of force, and that was it. And that's really all these situations really require. But when you drag out these conflicts for months and years and whatever, the military-industrial complex that makes money off building equipment for wars, and all the people who are invested in all these things make billions. And so that is why these wars happen. That's the core of it.
War sucks, dude. Regardless of what side you're on with anything, they're just hurting your fellow man. I'm not even on mushrooms. I'm not even microdosing or tripping or what was it, heroic dosing right now.
We're raised though to think that war is just part of life. And I remember thinking that, I remember being taught that in school that humans are just barbaric. We're not though. Think about the people sitting in this room. The average people that don't want war. There's a handful of people that are making these decisions and keeping these wars perpetually, just the continuing.
Well, because there's very bad people out there, if I just ran up to you and randomly punched you in the face, dude, I feel so bad. But some people get a kick out of shit like that. Yeah. It's weird how
war is about money and about economics and about power. That's what war is for.
Right.
Everything can be solved without war and violence.
I hate violence. People always joke with me all the time, and even my coworkers and stuff, because the place you work, you like to talk shit with your friends and stuff. It's all fun, right? And then some coworkers would be talking about oh Chase, you think I could beat you up? I'm like, dude, a 4-year-old could beat me up. I'm a lover, not a fighter. And I actually got that exact statement from my dad. But I am a lover, not a fighter. You'll never see me getting in a fight. I've never been in a fight. I have no desire to ever be in a fight because what does that prove? What does it prove? Nothing. A fight proves. If we have a disagreement, and you're like, yo, let's fight. I'm like, what does that prove? Okay, sure, you're stronger than me, but you're still an asshole. You're still a dickhead. What does that prove? Nothing. You're stronger than me. Ooh, you got me. That's my feeling on that.
One thing you'll find, man, after you take psychedelics is that, again...
If I take psychedelics.
You are not your physical body. Your physical body is simply the vessel that carries you. When you die, your body dies, but the you that you are, the awareness of this physical body continues to live on
forever. I've heard this before. If you weigh someone right before they die, and then after they die, they weigh less after they die.
So why do you think that is? What could be the
spirit
difference?
Lifted is what I've heard.
I briefly, I talked about this in one of the podcasts that I did with you.
Yeah,
about
we've done it.
spirit energy, and
But it's been a while, so bring it back up.
yeah, my theory is that the universe is filled with this energy, and that it's a raw material, it's a commodity, it's like gasoline or gold or anything else, and that Earth is a refinery for that, and that we come here and we spend time on this Earth learning how to coexist with other people and learning how to love and hate and to appreciate and to gain and lose, all these things, and that it refines that energy and it makes it more valuable, just like when crude oil becomes gasoline. But I think that's what we are. I think that energy is completely separate from this meat sack that we drag around. I think
Meat sack.
Yeah, for real. And I think that this body is part of that test, because if you think about it, you don't need to think about it. Life is hard. There's every day.
Life sucks
you
and
have
you
the challenge
die.
of getting up out of bed, getting yourself dressed, keeping yourself clean, feeding yourself, watering yourself, going to work, making a living, paying your bills. And all these things are to preserve this. And if you didn't have this, you wouldn't need any of that stuff. And I think that that's all part of, sort of this test that we go through to really give us an interaction with the physical world. And if you can do that and you get good at it, then you graduate to the next step.
Dude, I love life. I literally love life. Just bouncing off kind of what you said there, like, yeah, life is hard, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, I don't even think life is really that hard.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, like,
It's all about how you look at it.
exactly.
Brother.
So, like,
And if it wasn't a challenge, you wouldn't learn anything.
right. So, like, there's been times in my life where, like, I thought, oh, life was hard. I always give this example all the time. I had a girlfriend that I dated for, like, 4 years. We broke up. And I
And
was
now
like,
she's my wife.
where, like, I was, like, super sad. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. And then I actually worked at the same place you guys work at the time. And a former boss of mine showed me this video. You know the video I'm going to talk about, The Secret, right? Deadass, seriously, to this day, I say changed my life. You can look it up on YouTube, the first 20 minutes of The Secret, I swear to God. I was, like, so super depressed. And then I saw this thing, and I was like, holy shit, like, it's like thoughts become things, all that stuff. We don't have to get in the whole thing because I'm pretty sure we've all talked about it before. But long story short here is, like, I was like, damn, I'm here for, like, not that long. Am I going to spend my whole life being, like, upset? Or am I just going to, like, train my mind to, like, if I have a negative feeling, like, yo, fuck that, get that out of here, like, be happy. So I will say I am very good. Like, I don't get in a bad mood often. I'm very optimistic all the time. I have very high energy. I'm usually very happy. When I get in a bad mood, I will tell you, I am in a bad mood because it doesn't happen often. But the length of that bad mood, once I'm like, it doesn't last long at all. Once I realize, like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You're going to let this ruin your whole day? Literally, it flips a switch in my head, and I'm back to myself, like, back happy and stuff like that.
There was a man named Viktor Frankl who wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. And he wrote this.
You read a lot of books, and I like that.
He wrote this book in the 1950s to the 1960s. He went through the Holocaust. He was a Jew. And during the Holocaust, he realized that it wasn't external circumstances that determined how he felt. He realized that no matter what environment his physical body was in, no matter what turmoil he was going through, if he trained his mind to feel the way that he wanted to feel, he could feel happy even in a treacherous and death-imminent environment. And he survived. And he actually, by chance, survived the Holocaust. He wrote this book. But the whole point is, no matter what war is happening, no matter what's happening in your external environment, you have the power to feel the way that you want to feel and to take action towards the things that you want in your life, no matter what's happening around you.
Absolutely. And I haven't been depressed since that situation I was just talking about.
Since the Holocaust?
Since that breakup. But, like, things happen that make me sad and stuff. But like I said, I'm very good at where I can flip the switch and be like, dude, don't let it ruin your whole day. But I will say, all the power to that guy, because if I was in the Holocaust and I knew what I was getting myself into, like, I don't know how I could be happy walking.
And
into
he'd be a great
chamber.
guest for your podcast.
Is he still alive?
No, he's dead.
Jesus. But yeah, no, like that whole thing, like I'm The Secret, a big thing, like mind over matter. I'm a big believer in that. You know, like what's up here is more important than what's happening out there.
It's also self-awareness and coming to those conclusions that I don't need to spend this time being depressed. I don't need to spend this time being angry or wasting this energy. And
what does that do for you? It just ruins your day.
It doesn't do anything, but we live in a world where it's encouraged to be.
Oh, you're depressed. Oh, honey.
Yeah. And you see it, and I've talked about this before, maybe not on the podcast, but on Facebook when you see memes that of there's a whole Facebook page dedicated to depression and like that it's just who you are and that's and everyone needs to accept it and it's encouraging people to
You don't know how it feels to be depressed.
Yeah, well, it's encouraging people to just wallow in this misery and stay in it.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, for some people, it's comforting because that's all they know. And it's at the same time as it's physically and mentally killing them, they're also caught in this thing where they don't feel like they can ever break free of it. And what you were saying is exactly right. When you look within, you realize, I don't need to be upset about this. I need to just switch gears. That's the difference. And a lot of people get caught up and will spend their entire lives on medication or, just missing the real parts of life, wallowing in this hole that they've just dug for themselves. And I think that, there's some people that legitimately need medication, need help, but most people, if they had the guidance, could walk themselves out of it.
Well said. 100%. You are not your emotions.
All right, folks, let me tell you all about the Pump Action Shotgun Tool. Whoa, there's a tool for shotgunning? Hell yeah, there is. So listen to this. The Pump Action Shotgun Tool, created by the Drunk Engineers. Love that name, by the way. It makes shotgunning a hell of a lot easier, and let me tell you how. So you're going to take your beer, and you're going to stick it right in the shotgun tool, like this. Hold it like that so the air pockets are up here, and then you're going to give it a little squeeze. You're going to hear pop, bam, pop. But look at that. No mess. So right now the air pocket's right up here, and you're going to want to make sure you take this, push that down, and then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the tool. Hold the beer can in place to the mouthpiece. Then you're going to put your mouth on the mouthpiece and shotgun. And boom, no mess. You can shotgun at the dinner table, family events, wherever you want with absolutely no mess. So forget shotgunning, slamming a knife right through. Yeah, not a thing anymore. Thanks to the Pump Action Shotgun Tool by Drunk Engineers. And you can get yours right now. So just log on to www.drunkengineers.ca. Don't forget to use promo code GarageBoozing for 15% off site-wide. That's right, promo code GarageBoozing for 15% off site-wide. Go get yours now. Thank me later. Back to the show.
But yeah, exactly. Very, very well said. But I haven't done one of these in a while, so what do you guys think about a beer review?
Let's do it.
Want to do a beer review?
I'm down.
All right, so usually when I do a beer review, I have like a can each for everybody, but the place that I bought this beer from only had 2 cans, so...
Times are tough.
Don't worry, I got red Solo cups. And before I pour the drink, I'm going to tell you what it is. So we have a Busch Light Apple.
Jesus.
I don't know how I felt about this, but I will say I'm a big believer in Natural Light. We all know that. Natural Light is my 10 out of 10 beer. I love anything Natural Light like this. Natural Light Seltzer I'm drinking. It's 6%. This is their Aloha Beaches flavor. When mango and peach, go beach mode. That's not sponsored. I just wanted to say it like that. So anyway, we have Busch Light Apple. It's 12 fluid ounces in the whole can. Limited edition, so they will not be around forever. What's the alcohol percentage I'd like to see? I don't know. It doesn't say. Oh, 4.1%. But, fuck it. We're all going to try some Busch Light Apple. All right, so we have
It
some...
smells like public bathroom.
It smells like that little disc that's in.
Yeah, no, it smells like urinal disc.
No, it's a
Yes.
urinal cake. Urinal cake.
Is that the flavor of this beer?
Dude, this actually smells really, really dank.
Really dank. You got some dank shit, bud. All right, don't drink it yet. Have you done a beer review yet or no?
Yeah.
You have? You have
Yeah.
too, right? Of course. Okay, so they both have. Anyway, so we know how this goes. You take a sip or 2 or 3 or 4. 1 sip, everyone knows the rules, ripping off Barstool Sports. You take a sip and then you score it on a scale of 0 to 10. I always go last because I'm the host, so whoever wants to go first, take your sips. Again, Busch Light Apple.
What's the lowest score we can give?
0.
I'm going to give that a 0.
A
And
d-
I hope that I never have to try that again.
Really? You didn't, like a full-on 0?
Yeah.
Not a 0 point anything, just 0.
I don't like
Rookie score.
Yeah, I don't. Well, a 0 point. Can we do a negative score? Cause like,
Oh, you didn't like it that much?
no, I really didn't. I don't like flavored stuff like that anyway, and I never like the hard ciders, any of that stuff. So it's not my thing.
All right, so now to someone more realistic. Brandon, take a sip.
I'll do it right close to the mic for you, too. Okay, so to my personal taste, let me take one more sip.
You notice that I said I don't like flavored things as I'm chugging a wild berry.
I know you're chugging a wild berry.
That's
True.
not
It's very
terrible.
light. It's very fruity. I'd give it a 4.5.
Okay.
It's very light and fruity. It's for people who don't like beer, but they still want to join in with the fun.
That was a fantastic description. So, like, if you went to go buy beer and that was your only option, would you buy it and drink it for the night?
If that was the only option, I would definitely drink it. Yeah.
You wouldn't.
It's very watery. It's like Bud Light, but apple Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Busch Light, so same thing. Like a Bud Light, a Natural Light, same category. But Ben, if his choices were drinking this or staying sober for the night, you would stay sober.
I would.
Wow. Yeah. I'm going to finish this because it's that good.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You are a fucking moron. I think that's actually really good. And
Tastes good.
I'm not a big Apple fan. Wow.
No, we had the same, I think the same conflict the last time.
I like that a lot.
I'm
not a huge apple flavor fan.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like apple crisp or anything like that, but I actually enjoy this a lot.
It's fruity.
Oh, my score is going to be way higher than both of yours. Holy shit. I would drink this. Like, if I see this at the store again, I will buy it. I will buy this in a 12-pack, a 30-rack. I don't care. I would drink this. Wow. I wish Natty Light would have apple flavor. Holy shit.
Maybe you should write to them. I'm pretty sure you're their biggest fan.
God damn. That's, like, fucking amazing.
Now, do you like hard ciders and things like that?
Hard seltzers. Ciders, no. Like, Angry Orchard, shit like that, I hate.
And you like that?
Yes. This
Really?
is very good because that's like a cider. I don't like cider. This tastes like a beer with a... You know, like people put like Mio in their drinks and shit? It's like, you know, like people drink water and they put like little flavors in it. That's how this was. It's like I'm drinking a Busch Light with a hint of apple, which I don't love apple, but I like this a lot. I'm going to go 8.9. This was fucking phenomenal. I'm going to drink the whole other one.
You know, well, Ben, I peed in your cup.
That would explain it. It probably improves the flavor, to be honest.
Ben was drinking piss. Fuck yeah, I'm going to drink that. That was 8.9. That's one of the highest reviews I've ever given on this podcast. Utica Club was in the 9s. I love Utica Club. You ever had Utica Club?
Of course. That's not a bad beer for cheap beer. I'm not a cheap beer kind of guy, though. And I mean...
Why? You can drink more for a lower price.
Or drink less for the same. I don't know. Like, if I'm going to drink a beer, I like to enjoy the beer.
Don't drink that. I'm going to drink it. That's my Busch Light apple.
I have no fears of me drinking that.
All right, boys. Well, that's all the time we have tonight in this episode of the Garage Boozing Podcast. Thank you, Brandon Be Better Eastman, for joining me on this podcast. Ben, Mr. Conspiracy Wilcox, thank you for joining me once again. Wow.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
And honestly, my plan when I started this, I was like, we're going to make it one episode this time. I fucking lied. It's going to end up being 2. So, yeah, what can I do? All right, folks. Well, all that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me again in the garage, and we'll see you nerds next week.
Hey, nerds. Please don't forget the #1 way to support the brand. Buy some merch. We've got hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and it's all available to you at www.garageboozing.net/shop. And don't forget to follow on all your favorite social media accounts as well as YouTube at Garage Boozing. And of course, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, whatever the button may be, to the Garage Boozing Podcast on your favorite podcast platforms so you can be notified as soon as a new episode is released.
Ladies, gentlemen, and nerds. Do you have what it takes to be a guest on the fastest growing, alcohol chugging, and nonsense talking podcast? Well, now is your chance. The Garage Boozing Podcast has new guests every week, and you could be one of them. Just simply log on to www.garageboozing.net, click the Be on the Show tab, and submit your information. It's that simple. Join the boozement, or be a loser. Don't miss your chance, because we're taking this to the moon.